Record. So, good afternoon. My name is Raymond James. I'm the Director of Admissions here at the Tempe campus. For some of you guys, you're looking at attending the Tempe campus. Sorry, got the glasses on. The Tempe campus, as well as, or either the Tucson campus for surgical tech or sterile processing. So this is information for both of those campuses. I'm also going to introduce to you my counterpart, which is fantastic, and Miss Allison Wilson. All
Hi.
right. And I will start sharing first, and then Ms. Allison will go over the program in specific. So let me go ahead and do that now. Okay. Oops. It's not working. Why is it not working? There we go. All right. So, yes, welcome to your information session. So sorry. So like everybody wants to call right at that moment. When I hit the button, everybody wants to call. So yes, so obviously welcome. So congratulations, honestly, this is your first step to either your new career or your extension of your career. So we're excited that we are part of this with you. And we want to make sure that we have everything you need and we're able to help as you go through. So a little bit about who we are. So I am your Director of Admissions here. If you are looking at the Tucson campus, that's going to be Corey. His name is Corey. He's amazing. And then obviously we've got the amazing Allison Wilson, who not only takes care of surgical tech, she also takes care of sterile processing, and she's also the Director of Education. She wears a lot of hats. So a little bit more about me. My information is literally right there. You should have all received an email from me. So you have my email address, but just in case, it's right here. So if you need to do a screenshot or anything like that, go right on ahead. I have worked in admissions for, oh my gosh, about, I was thinking about it the other day. I think it's been about 18 years. Crazy face, right? But I am previous military. I was in the Navy, been around the world, seen different things and wonderful things, but now I work for you, right? So I'm always accessible. That is my direct line. It also goes to my cell phone, so you can always reach me, all right? And once again, I get to introduce Miss Allison Wilson.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to our info session today. I'm Allison Wilson, the Director of Education and the Program Director, Interim Program Director for the Surgical Technology Program and Sterile Processing Program. Welcome to you all. I've been with Brookline for about 7 years now. Started out as a surgical technology instructor, became the Program Director, and then moved into the Director of Education. On the call today is some of my new surgical technology instructors who are learning a little bit about the program, but we all in our team are very excited to have you all and welcome. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the program in just a little bit.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So, Brookline has many campuses, right? So yes, we do have a Phoenix campus, we have the Tucson one, and then Albuquerque as well as online. And we are going to talk a little bit more. Miss Allison is going to talk a little bit more when we talk about online and virtual. Okay, we have to at this point. We got to deal with COVID. So we'll be kind of discussing how that's going to work and things like that for you. All right. Brookline's mission. So Brookline College is an independent accredited institution dedicated to meeting the educational needs of a developing multicultural society. And it's just that, right? You have a full-on, there's a lot of people that are going to need you, right? You're in the medical field. You have to be somewhat of a people person when you're dealing with the medical field, right? So we are helping you with these skilled physicians so that way you can go out and have an amazing career, or like I said, continue on with your career. The institution is committed to preparing students academically and professionally to meet the constantly changing employment requirements of business, industry, public service organizations, and medical support agencies functioning in a highly advanced and expanding technological community, and that is exactly what it is. So as you go through, you're going to be taking a look at all the things that we do and how we're going to help. And we want to make sure that we also assist you with that as well. So literally from start to finish and you finding your career, we are there to assist. Professionals. So yes, I'm going to tell you now, we strive for you to be a professional, right? Now, many of you either are professionals or close to being, or you know what, hey, I'm good. I need a little bit of professional help. That's what we are here for, right? We want to make sure that when you go into your first career interview right from this, that you nail it that first time. Or, hey, you know what? I'm ready for that promotion. I want to be able to touch up my resume, things like that. That's what we're here for. So we have a full-on career services department. We have a student services department. So there's a lot of people that are here to assist you as you go through. Affiliations. So we are affiliated with a lot of people, as you can see. So anywhere from Abrazo to Banner to Dignity. So there's a lot of people that we have affiliations with. So that way, you know, as you go out, they know of Brookline and they know that you're going to have a choice education as you go through. You can't get away from it, but it's social media, right? So we do want you to like us on Facebook. Our biggest reason why is because you're going to see a lot of things that happen, right? Because we do a lot of things on campus as well as virtually. So as things pop up, things like that, you may miss an email or hey, you may not see it on the campus walls or something like that. I will tell you, it's going to be in your news feed. So a lot of times I say, hey, if you're going to be attending here, definitely like us on Facebook. Like I said, any campus news, pictures, all of that stuff do populate on our Facebook. Campus activities. So we have to talk, once again, it's COVID right now. So, and hence we're all working from home kind of situation. But any holiday events, career service workshops, financial literacy, community service, field trips. Yes, you guys go on field trips. So these things like this, we want to make sure that you are ready for. Once again, this is virtually as well as on campus as you go through when it comes to our activities. And one of my favorite things to talk about, graduation. So yes, the culmination of everything that you've done, the hard work, the dedication that you've absolutely had to put in to get to your goal, that's what that is. That is what you've worked for, and then obviously finding work at the end. But that graduation, woo, don't worry. So we love our graduation. We strive for it because you have put in so much work. And then I don't know if you see it at the bottom, it says no excuses. And we do mean that, right? So there's going to be things that, let's just be honest, right? There's going to be things that are going to come up, schedule changes, transportation, education, your laptop, all of that stuff. It happens. Life happens. But it's a difference when you say, you know what, I can't do it. I'm done versus, okay, this happened. I have to acknowledge that this happened, but I need to move on because I have a career waiting on the end. So focusing on your graduation, focusing on your career, that's what we do. Okay? Now, I know this thing says questions, right? But we're going to hold all those questions until the very, very end. And then because I'm sure you're going to have plenty of questions after Miss Allison goes over her section. And then when she goes over her section, then we'll be able to answer all of your questions. Okay? All right. Well, that's it for me for a little while. I'll see you guys at the end. It's all yours, Miss Allison.
Well, thank you, Ray. So, welcome everybody again to our info session. These info sessions are really designed to kind of give you guys just an idea of the program, to help you kind of clarify some questions. Hopefully I can answer them throughout the presentation. But if I can't, we'll try to get some questions answered at the end. So I'm going to start with sterile processing, if that's okay, Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very good. I'll start with sterile processing first. And the reason that I'm going to start there is because sterile processing really is a very good stepping stone into surgical technology if you're not quite ready for that piece of the puzzle. So we'll start with sterile processing here. So I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully I can share my screen.
Woo woo.
There we go.
I love that picture every time I see it.
Thanks. All right, so here we go. Sterile processing technician program. So basically, what is a sterile processing technician? Well, they are the individuals who work in a separate department of the operating room, and they clean and sterilize all the instruments and the medical supplies that we use in the operating room. And once they are clean and sterilized, then they reassemble them, they organize them, and they distribute them to many different places within the hospital. As you can imagine, during this time in COVID world, so they are helping to reprocess many other things other than what they normally would have. At one point, some sterile processing departments were reprocessing N95 masks because they needed them for the healthcare workers. And so there could be a variety of things that you could potentially be asked to do within this job itself. So there's a lot of things on here, and I'm just going to kind of weed it out a little bit for you. There's specific job duties, and there's a bunch of different categories with a bunch of things that fall underneath them. So the first category is decontamination. That's where basically, in essence, the dishwashing happens. So the contaminated instruments come from the operating room into the decontamination area, and they basically go through a rigorous cleaning process through ultrasonic, through washers, through manual cleaning as well. And then they move on to the next area, which is called the assembly part. So after they're cleaned, they go through assembly. They are checked for breakage, or make sure that that the instruments are working appropriately, those kinds of things. And then the trays get assembled according to a sheet of paper, which we call basically the count sheet, but it's kind of like a recipe, right? The recipe that kind of takes you through what goes where, just like baking a cake in essence. After that, the instruments then go into a sterilizer, and that comes into the sterilization and storage area of sterile processing, where it goes into the high pressured steam sterilizers and gets cleaned and gets rid of all of the bacteria and microorganisms in order to be able to be safely used on another patient. It also is a place where detailed records are held about what was sterilized, when it was sterilized, did it reach the temperatures, and things like that. Inspection and maintenance happens along the entire way when we inspect and maintain the instruments itself, but also inspection and maintenance happens when we talk about the records of the department, testing the equipment and making sure that it is working appropriately, and maintaining the equipment and make sure that you're reporting any malfunctions to the appropriate people. The last part then is distribution, and this part obviously has played a critical role in 2020 just with COVID, and that's distribution, where part of it is restocking crash carts, taking instruments or other supplies, medical supplies, to different units or floors in order to be able to use for patients and things like that. So these are really kind of the specific areas, and the specific duties obviously includes a lot more than this. This is just kind of just the highlights. All right, so skills for the job. What do we look for, and what kind of can you expect when you get out there? You have to be able to understand and be able to use a variety of tools like barcode readers, the steam autoclaves, and chemical and gas sterilizers, so pretty large equipment, which we teach you to use. The use of your PPE or personal protective equipment, like your gowns and your face shields and rubber gloves, is super important to protect yourself. Computer software, you don't have to be a techie, but you still have to be able to know and be able to manage the software that they use. Kind of staying on top of the technology, because there's always regulations and technologies that are changing within this job, and so it's really important to stay on top of those as well. And then following the instructions and adhering to rigid standards, because again, the standards are the way they are to keep all of our patients safe, and so we need to make sure that we are doing that for sure. Okay, so where can you work? Well, Most everybody in this job works in the hospital, but there are other options. Surgery centers do employ sterile processing technicians. Outpatient departments do. In-office procedure facilities, and usually in the hospital, the ER and other floors use sterile processing too. So if it is a standalone little hospital, they also could employ sterile processing as well. But most of our students go to hospitals. So what are you going to learn? Well, throughout your time in this program, you are going to learn about medical fundamentals like medical terminology, anatomy and physiology, a lot about microbiology. Why? Because we're trying to kill the microorganisms that are on these instruments, and infection control. You're going to learn a lot of basic things about the identification of instruments. You're going to learn a lot of instruments. You'll learn how to go through the decontamination process, the disinfection process, about sterilizing, safety protocols, tracking systems, and the list goes on. So these are all like the sterile processing functions, whereas you will learn some of the medical fundamentals as well. All right, so this program is a 32 credit program, about 42 weeks in length. There is two kind of starting off courses that you'll take: SS100, which is student success, and professional development, which is PD 299. Both of those can be taken in the online platform. We're going to talk a little bit about the difference between online and ground in just a little bit, and virtual, so that we're clear. The SPD 101 through 104 happens 4 days per week for 4 hours every evening. The program runs from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., Monday through Thursday. There is a 405-hour externship, which is completed in about 11 weeks, which makes it kind of break down to about 30 to 40 hours a week in order to get all those hours in. And then there is a prep class that is involved as well, and at the end, you'll be able to sit for the CRCST exam, which is really exciting. So how do you advance? There's a lot of different ways you can advance. Obviously, the additional formal training and relevant credentials, which it means getting different other certifications and other things like that. And there is a ton of certifications out there for sterile processing. You can move into a supervisory position, such as a lead tech or a department manager. And the best way to advance really for sterile processing is it gives you an excellent gateway into the surgical technology program, which is really exciting. All right, so the benefits to this career choice really kind of fall into both sterile processing and surgical technology, but it's a great sense of purpose, especially given COVID-19 and all the things we've gone through this year. Being able to help patients and in this way really is a great sense of purpose. There is always plenty of work to keep you stimulated and keep you busy. The great part about sterile processing is that there's many different areas and little subgroups of the department that you can work in. And you're never usually working in the same area every night. They usually try to rotate everybody, which I think makes it a little bit better because you're not always doing the same thing. And then the availability of flexibility with your shift. So hospitals run 24/7, most of them. Well, they all should run 24/7, but what that means is that you could work a day shift, a mid shift, an evening shift, an overnight shift, call, and those kinds of things. So there's a lot of flexibility there. All right, types of certifications. We talked a little bit about that just a few seconds ago, but as you can see, there's a lot of different certifications out there. The CRCST is the exam that you will be ready to take at the end of your educational journey, which is offered through the International Association of Healthcare Central Service Material Management, or otherwise known as ISHIAM. You can get your CSPDT, which is the Certified Sterile Processing and Distribution Technician, or the CBSPD, which is this is certification through the Board of Sterile Processing and Distribution. There's a lot more out there of little independent certifications like endoscopy and certain specific robotic instruments. So there's a lot of different extra certifications you can get on top of all that. All these certifications do is make you more marketable and help you to be able to push forward in your position. So how much will you make? So I know that, you know, obviously admissions doesn't really talk about this, but obviously it's my job to do so. But I can tell you that just typically most sterile processing employees make anywhere from $13.10 to $21.18. Now, why the wide range of pay? Well, it depends on whether you've gone to school. It depends on whether you have certification. It depends on whether you've worked for the facility before. So there's a lot of different reasons why the range is so large. Certifications will help you to increase your pay, which is really exciting. And one of the great things about this, just as surgical technology, is there's call pay available. So you potentially could work a 40-hour week, but then you may take call on the weekend, which then provides you a small call pay, which is anywhere between $2 and $4 an hour just to be on call. But then if you get called in, it's time and a half. So there is lots of ways to help increase your pay there. I'm not going to be able to get the video to play due to our IT situations. So questions about sterile processing before I move on? Okay, so I'll go ahead and share my screen again, and we'll go through surgical technology. All right. All right, so the surgical tech program. All right, so who we are. This is an associate's degree program. It is 90 weeks in length. That is if you have 0 college credits to transfer in, okay? If you have college credits to transfer in, I encourage you to get with your admissions reps. We'll take a look at the unofficial transcript, see what we can transfer, but then we will need your officials in order to be able to seal the deal there. And then that will give you what your ultimate schedule is once we take a look at those credits. With no previous college credit, 71.5 credit program. It is comprised of general education courses, which are considered blended. And blended means that you can take them ground or online, or in our COVID world, virtual, which we'll talk a little bit about at the end here. The core courses, meaning the core pieces of the hands-on lab parts, are from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. Monday through Thursday. It is really safe to tell you right now that you should be available for any of your classes Monday through Thursday between 6 a.m. and 12 noon. And I say that because some of the general education courses that are offered on ground or virtual ground basically are ran between 6 and 11 or 7 and 11:30. So just keep that in mind. We are accredited through ABHES, which is our institutional accreditation. That is the Health Bureau of Health, the Association of I don't know why I can't talk today. ABHES. We're just going to move on. It is what it is. Okay, why us? So I want to take just a brief kind of stroll through the competition. It's really good for you to compare costs. What's all included in your costs here at Brookline College? Your background check, your drug screen, and all your necessary shots are included in the cost of your tuition. All books, they are ebooks, but they are all included. You will get uniforms that we do wear on campus, so navy blue Brookline scrubs, the lanyard and the ID badge, and the national certification exam is included in your tuition, and you are taking it on the campus where you're most comfortable. And we also have the LRC, which has technology, computers, and laptops to use, and you can also have printing and copying and textbooks available at the campus. So who is teaching you? So first of all of the instructors that teach you in the program, in the core courses, and I say in the core courses, are CSTs. So we all hold the credential of Certified Surgical Technologist. What is the difference? If you look at some programs, you are taught by nurses, and realistically, all of us that teach in this program take pride in the fact that we are all surgical certified technologists, and that we, have all worked in the field for many years and have the skills and the certification needed to give you the best education. You will have dedicated classroom instructors. So when you get to the lab, you will have that same instructor for lab and for didactic, which is really great. We have 2 clinical coordinators who help work through getting externship spots ready, and they also hold the CST credential. And then we also have student services advisors who are available to help assist with anything as far as technology and Moodle, or even resources that you may need to help with your just during life situations. So Ray talked earlier about clinical experiences and affiliations. We have a ton of them outside of these, but these are the heavy hitters here in the Valley. Abrazo Health Banner Honor, Phoenix Children's Hospital, we have Stewart Healthcare, Prescott Regional, Cobra Valley. We have affiliations throughout the entire state, and even have ventured outside of the state. So if any of you are interested in the surgical tech program and have family that lives in a different state and want to do your externship there, we can work on that and make that work. All right, our labs. So we have a main operating room lab that has 6 setups and it can accommodate about 24 to 30 students. We have a secondary operating room lab with that has another 4 setups to accommodate another 16 students. And hopefully by April of this next year, April or May of this next year, we will have another full lab as well that can accommodate a large group of students as well. We have full operating room setups with real OR equipment. We have an anesthesia machine, we have a Bovie, we have all kinds of the real equipment, and the majority of it all works. We have laparoscopic equipment, which we actually do laparoscopic surgery. So all of our operating areas are fully equipped to act like the real deal. So one of the things that we do at the Tempe campus, and hopefully we can incorporate into the Tucson campus here soon, is the learning trauma cases. Every year for Surgical Technology Week, which is in the 3rd week of September, we do a mass casualty scenario where we have a mass shooting in the courtyard or a mass bombing, and we actually take patients to different areas of the hospital. We make an ER, we have pharmacy, we have insurance and billing and coding students, and then we take patients back to the OR and perform fake surgeries, but we try to make it as realistic as possible. We have patients who crash and we do CPR, pretend CPR. So we really try to gear up for that critical thinking there. Teamwork. I cannot stress this enough that the operating room works together as a team. So you will have collaborative learning with all of your classmates. The faculty to student ratio in the labs is 10 to 1. So for every 10 students, there's 1 instructor. The faculty that we have, and actually I need to change this because I think we're probably more like about 150 years of combined experience. And these individuals with this amount of a combined experience are managing and helping you through your lab, which I think is really great. We also have student ambassadors in each of the program. You can see them in the picture in the back here. They're wearing bright red scrubs. Those students are representatives of the program and serve as the voice of the student body, and also will help you with any struggles that you may have along the way. Here's just a couple pictures I kind of wanted to show you. So as you can see here up in the far left-hand corner, this is one of my students who's kind of starting through the process. Here she is down in the bottom here, and she's counting, and then here she's standing at the table saying, "I'm ready to go." So just a couple of experiences you can see. By the time all this goes by so fast, you are done, and we're moving on to graduation, which, as Ray said, is one of our favorite times. We love graduation because it's a great way to really acknowledge and support all the hard work that you guys have done over the time you've been with us. And we all know that it is a struggle. So this is why graduation is so exciting for you, but really exciting for us as well. All right, so choose us for the Brookline Way. So basically, we have something at Brookline called the Brookline Way, and W-A-Y. So the W stands for we are always willing to go the extra mile. And you will see this amongst all of our faculty and staff, that anything that they need to help you with, we're always willing to go the extra mile and give you that one-on-one if that's what you need. A stands we take the time and attention for every student, and we really do take pride in that. As you can see, you know, Ray is really passionate about, you know, getting you guys to have a career and move on with life and do great things for your family, and me and my team are as well, and so that's really exciting. Y stands for we know that each of us makes a difference, and that's why it stands for you are the difference maker. We need to make a difference. We want to make a difference in your life and help you to be successful and get the best experience that you can get out of your education here at Brookline College. So what do you have to do first? Well, obviously speaking to admissions and attending this info session, which is a really great idea. Talk to financial aid, and then there will be an SLE assessment that needs to be taken as well. And then your next steps are schedule your personal interview with Ray, or reach out with Ray, or reach out to Corey in Tucson. And with that being said, oh, I missed the slide. Here's my student saying peace. So what questions do you all have for me?
So I don't know if they can actually say them. So I think you just go ahead and put them in the chat. So
yep,
there's
go ahead
a little.
Just go ahead and add your questions to the chat if you have any.
Yep.
No questions.
That was fantastic, by the way.
No questions.
You do very well.
I love
Every time
questions.
I hear it, yeah, me too.
Well,
I will say that, oh, wait. Okay. I will say that this is recorded. All right. So you would just reach out to your admissions person. If you don't have one, you can always reach out to me. And then I can get you a copy of the recorded webinar as well. If you, like I said, if you do have an admissions person, definitely reach out to them to discuss your next step, things like that. But I'm working with, gosh, everybody's out today. So I'm working with Tempe and Tucson today for the Search Tech, just to make sure that you guys get everything that you need. And then that way, when you start your new year, you're starting it off with a career. Yes, I did mean to make that rhyme. That was awesome.
So Stephanie asked, what does the class schedule look like? So basically what I tell everybody is that the class schedule is anywhere between 6 a.m. and noon, Monday through Thursday. Now your classes could be blended. They could be on ground virtual, actual ground, online. There's a lot of different scenarios. And, you know, we'll kind of jump through some of that when we get to orientation, a little bit about the difference and what that really all means for you. But you should be available Monday through Thursday, 6 a.m. to noon.
Now, for sterile processing is going to be different, right, Ms. Allison?
Yep, sterile processing is in the evening from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday.
Mm-hmm. So depending on what your schedule is, that may depend on what program is going to be a better fit too. You know, you should not ever let a job stand in the way of your career. So if it needs to be a different progression, then so be it. If, hey, I work during the day and I really want to get in this career field, maybe sterile processing is going to be it until we can get into that kind of career field.
The next question is, does students take one course at a time? When they get to the core pieces of the program, yes, it's one class at a time. However, gen eds can be one class at a time or sometimes two classes at a time. It all depends on their status. If they're full-time, they'll take, in a semester period, they'll take 4 classes in order to gain full-time status and full-time aid. But that's something that, once you are enrolled, that the plan of study will lay out for you. But there are plenty of times where the students do take 2 classes at a time.
Mm-hmm.
What else? What other questions do we have?
All right, guys. Well, if there are no other questions, I'll go ahead and secure this. So once again, like I said, thank you guys for coming to the info session, coming in and viewing our little career. We love it. Absolutely love it. It's an amazing career, and we know you will too. So if you have any questions or anything like that, if you're in Tucson, you can always reach out to Corey as the Director of Admissions in Tucson. If you're looking in Tempe, please by all means come see me. I'm Ray. You've got the amazing Miss Allison, who is the guru of all. I can't say too many that she starts to actually blush if I start talking about her too much.
Oh boy.
But thank you so much for doing that. Like I said, this is recorded, and if you need it, it is there. So have an amazing holiday. Please be safe. Wear your mask. All right, and we definitely want to talk to you soon.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Yes, bye-bye.